This is a set of 7 1.25-inch telescope optical filters. I was sent this set to review for free. If you wanted to purchase them yourself, it would cost you about $33. They haven't paid me for my review, and my opinions remain my own. So in the larger box, you get an individual box for each filter. And the filters have 6 color filters, which are basically planetary color filters. And the numbers here, like 80A, 25, 58A, 21, 12, and 56, are not in sequence. These actually correspond to some numbering schemes that I've seen with other brands. So most likely the Celestron brand has colored filters with these numbers for the different colors. And these are used to highlight certain different aspects of planets. Now, this filter here is a neutral density 96-09. It basically transmits 13% of the light. This is most useful on really bright objects, notably the moon, to kind of increase your contrast and make it so that your telescope doesn't make the moon look too bright so you can see details on the moon. So each of these filters is in a little plastic box that has an adhesive sticker that's holding it to the containing cardboard sleeve. So the boxes are basically friction fit. This is the neutral density filter. And you can see that each of these filters is 1.25 inches, and it's threaded here for your typical 1.25 inch eyepiece threading. They're relatively thick as filters go. There's a decent amount of aluminum here, so this is going to extend the depth of your eyepiece here by, a centimeter or so. It doesn't appear that you need to keep the sleeves because the boxes are labeled and the filters themselves are labeled on the edge of the filter. So I have a Celestron set of these 2-inch color filters, and this guy over here has a relatively close alignment in the choices of colors. Some of the numbers are exactly the same. The only exception here is the greens. So this guy here is the number 58 green. This here is labeled 56. It looks pretty similar. They also include a 58A, so this one here looks a little bit less saturated. So, that's a little bit of differences there, but generally in the same hues, so here's the blues, which are the 80A filter. And both of these filters are labeled 80A, and I don't think there's like an official specification for the exact hue of blue they need to be. And you can see, the oranges here and the yellows here. So let's put some of these up to the camera. This here's yellow. This is the number 12 yellow. We have the number 21 orange. Number 21. .25 red, .25 red. This is the Celestron 58 green. This is their 56 green. And this is their 58A green. And then we have the number 80A light blue. So there might be some minimal differences, but it's generally doing the same sets of colored filters. So my Celestron kit did come with a sheet explaining what each of these colored filters is used to enhance on different planets. Astromania just gave you the filters and either lets you play around with it and figure it out yourself, or look up on the internet what colors is appropriate for looking at specific parts of different planets. Now, I do appreciate the moon filter. I do have a neutral density filter for my other set, but these guys didn't include that. I had to purchase it separately. So I personally use the moon filter or the neutral density filter much more frequently than the colored filters. So it looks like a very complete set of the filters you typically want for planetary viewing and looking at the moon. I'm going to take these out on my telescope and take some pictures through them to show you that as well. Now, packaging wise, these filter holders hold together quite well by friction fit. They're not difficult to pop off. You do have to use two hands to kind of hold the top and the bottom separately and lift. And when you push them on, there's enough pressure that the filter does not slide around. It pushes it into that foam on the bottom enough so that the filters don't slide around. Even though there's not like a circular cutout for them, they are held very securely in place with these guys. The sleeves, they were really just extra work to get off, so they protect the plastic case in shipping, I guess, but I don't plan on keeping the sleeves. Alright, I took these colored filters out last night, put them in my telescope, shot some pictures with Jupiter. Some of them make different features of Jupiter appear a little more easy to see, increase contrast. Some of them just kind of muddle the view of Jupiter. It depends on the color and which planet you're using and what you're trying to do with them. I didn't get a chance to test this on the moon because the moon wasn't out last night. So, in general, I believe these colored filters work just as well as the name brand ones I've used. That being said, I'm not really a planetary colored filter type of guy. I feel they're kind of gimmicky. I don't feel that they enhance the image over just natural image. But if you want to try them out, they're relatively inexpensive. Feel free to go for it. The quality as colored filters is just fine. This guy, neutral density filter, I think everybody should have one of these, because looking at the moon, you really want a neutral density filter to, cut down the brightness and make the contrast a little easier to see things. So you definitely want a neutral density filter, and if you happen to get a pack of colored filters you can play with and see if you like them or not, great. So these guys all screwed into my 1.25 inch nose piece on my camera, no problem. So aluminum is all working the correct size, it goes in perfectly. So fit and finish is just fine. All the hue filters work just fine. So if you want to try out colored filters, this is a perfectly acceptable set to do that with.